Hi, this is Phil Potempa, and welcome to another and a special edition of Notoriety. Every week we bring you all the ticket happenings, all the opportunities, everything that's entertaining from east to west, northwest Indiana, Chicagoland, and beyond. Things to mark on the calendar, what's not to be missed. There's so much going on in this short month of February, which is about to end, that we had to slip in an extra show this week just to make sure we give attention to where attention is due. I'm your host, as I mentioned, Phil Potempa, and I couldn't be here for this show for the past 9 broadcast years without our generosity in the underwriters. Folks at People's Bank are the underwriters that make this happen each week. The wonderful Andy and Sue Arnold are arts advocates. Theater at the Center as well. All of them underwriters so that we can bring you everything that's happening. Some of you are tuned in to our traditional radio dial at 12:30 a.m. for WJOB as we come to you from our Strachan Van Til studios. Others perhaps have found us in our social media and streaming through YouTube, or it's been shared, or you just happen to stumble upon us and thought, what is going on, since you have the added advantage to see all the cameras that are in our studio. And so right next to me, you'll see we have our co-host Luke Miiller helping out.
Hello, good morning still.
And a returning guest as well. We have Tammie Miller. She is the director for our coordinating marketing, right, for the last almost 20 years?
Yes, 20 years this year.
Northwest Indiana Symphony. And there is a royal flair to our studio today, as you might see about us. We want to timestamp this again in case you are thinking of buying your tickets later. We come to you today on February the 26th on this Thursday, so it could be a rebroadcast, just to let you know what our timestamp is as well. We want to talk about all things happening with our wonderful Northwest Indiana Symphony for what is the next concert that's coming up right around the corner. It happens on Friday, March the 6th, and there's some things that are leading up to it that also give a little outreach to the community. It's the reason why I have a tiara to my left and I have a golden crown to the right, and if you could really see right in front, even our producer Adrian she might be able to zoom in, there is a glass slipper, ever so teeny tiny, on this presentation pillow, along with some pumpkins. If that doesn't give you a hint of what the theme is coming up for this fantastic concert opportunity, then you really need to add some more clues, and Tammie's going to help out. Tell us all about it, Tammie.
Sure. Well, our next concert for the symphony is called Spellbound, and it is Friday, March 6th. That is at Living Hope Church there in Crown Point, where we have most of our concerts. And it is fairy tales, fairy tale music and concert. So it is Prokofiev's Cinderella Suite, and it is Stravinsky's The Firebird, which is more of a Russian fairy tale, but it still, involves handsome princes and princesses and evil people and
really,
yep, yeah.
So hold it right there. This sounds like a Tony Panic bit, so there should be a wah-wah here. But I'm so excited. Since you've got a wand in front of you, is there any way you could wave it and I could be a part of the concert? I've always wanted to be part of one of Maestro's concerts.
Oh, sure.
Anything to grant me a wish?
Let's see. Which setting do I like? I think
powerful.
I
like
this one. That one looks most powerful. I will go poof. Would you like to be the narrator on our concert?
I would love to be the narrator for this concert opportunity.
We will appreciate that. I'm sure you can get it all together in the next 2 weeks. Week and a half.
Okay, I'm in. So tell me, so there is a narrator portion of it.
Yes.
And again, if you think fairy tales, it's a natural for kids. So that evening concert is phenomenal for an opportunity for everybody to be a part of. But then let's just quickly talk about the educational aspect to it as well.
Sure. So every season we always try and find a concert that we can pair with what our education concerts, which we do 2 performances of our education concert. It's about a 45-minute show, and so those will take place on Friday, March 6th in the morning. So the kids come from different schools all over the Lake and Porter County. They come to these concerts as field trips, and so the concerts they follow all Indiana state standards, et cetera, for learning and teaching and all of that. So we have music that we play the music, and then Maestro will sort of talk through the music and give a kid's version of what something about the composer and something about, and then he'll go through all the families of instruments. So he'll talk you through this is the string family and it's the violins, and so he'll go through each piece of each part of the orchestra, so the kids can understand sort of what every component does and how every type of instrument plays. And then, like I said, so we're doing not the full concert that that you would get at night. We're doing part of the Firebird, like the last two movements of the Firebird, and we're doing several of, but not nearly as many of the pieces from the Cinderella suite from Prokofiev. And with the Firebird, also an added component we have on our education concerts, our youth orchestra. Members of our youth orchestra will come and play side by side.
Oh, wow.
With the so they're taking their own field trip, and they're going to come perform for all the little kids. And so we're going to have a small group of kids in the first performance, and then a different group of youth orchestra kids will perform in the second performance.
And if you're a teacher, educator, or grandparent thinking, I'm going to tip off my school, unfortunately, that educational concerts, those are already packed and sold out.
Yes,
correct?
yeah, those have been for months.
So plan for next year away early.
Yes, plan for next year. I mean, I think, again, it's looking at the same time frame, maybe March, April of next year, I believe is what we're looking at for, because we did talk to the educators about doing it in the fall, and they were like, no, it's too close to the beginning of the school year, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to do it probably a little farther in spring, so later March and maybe into April next year. But yeah, look out for that probably beginning of the school year, though, because in years past, and this year included, we've gotten the John W. Anderson Foundation has very generously basically paid for every single student to be able to come to this for free. It used to be like
wonderful?
a $5 or $6 charge per
Sure.
student for a field trip, but then you had schools that couldn't, the kids couldn't afford that or whatever, and so the John W. Anderson Foundation just said, you know what, we want all the kids to be able to come and experience this, so they have generously underwritten the cost of all of the kids to come. So yeah, so because of that, especially, it's been very full. So it was probably sold out, before the new year even.
And we teased a little bit earlier that you were granting my wish, which I know you do have those powers, but the powers also come from the greater folks, that is Maestro or wonderful Kirk Muspratt, who made the invitation a little bit earlier. So that's why I realized.
Oh, you're ruining the magic, Phil.
I just thought Maestro might be saying, who does Tammie Miller think she is?
No.
Only one person has a baton and a wand with power. No, I'm
He does
sure.
have a baton, yes.
But that.
Can you imagine making him conduct with this?
Right?
That would be hilarious.
That would be a cute bit. Suggest that.
I'm going to take it to him and
It would
just
be
see.
fun. He might go for that.
It'd be like Tammie.
But I do know that a part of the narrator job, I know for at least definitely, I think it's in both, but it explains for things such as the goofy, silly, mean stepsisters. One is portrayed by an oboe, and so there's different correlations, right?
Correct. Yeah. So and Maestro has written the narration for this. He's gone through and he's actually written the narration that you are so generously and graciously going to perform for us. And so he's written that, and yeah, it kind of explains for the kids. I think it's a little bit, it's
Sure.
And then the adult one is going to be you're going to be more serious, right?
Exactly. We're going to
bring the gravitas.
That's right. It's kind of like a bedtime story.
Right.
And it's not at Theater at the Center. Theater at the Center, who I should have mentioned earlier, also one of our wonderful underwriters that make this broadcast available to all of you. It is not there. It's at your usual space, which is
the Living Hope Church, which is 9000 Taft Street. It's right there by the Government Center in Crown Point. So it's technically Maryville on the address, but it's...
And those tickets are still available.
Yes, we do still have tickets available in all pricing sections. I think our Platinum is almost full, but so it's $49, $69, or $89 are the prices. And students are for the nighttime concert are going to be $10.
Great. And how to get those?
Sure. So it's our website, nisorchestra.org. You can go online and pick, look at the chart, pick your seats, and sit where you want to sit.
Mm-hmm. Tammie, you waved the wand to make Phil the narrator, but what you're not telling people is that Phil then waved his wand and made me his personal assistant for the night as well.
That's exactly right.
Well,
there has to be a go-to person.
Exactly. He's going to be like, I need some water, Luke.
Royalty needs space, right? Exactly.
I understand.
Maestro always has an assistant too.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Well, we have an assistant conductor, and we have assistant like the stage manager. We have all kinds of great people.
Part of the fun too with the show, what you usually do with these shows, is the slides that are on in the background too, and seeing what selections are back there. So that's always a fun thing to take a look at too.
Well, and so for the education concert, we'll have a lot more slides because kids like to see stuff. So again, while we're talking about the violins, we'll have violin and and all of that up on the stage. So the kids concert very much is both audio and visual kind of components to it. In the nighttime show, we generally try to have something up there that sort of fits the theme. So we're not going to be running through all of the slides like we do for the kids. We're not going to talk the audience through the violins.
And truly, all of us, I think, can speak to this. Certainly, is that you really don't need a whole lot because there is so much. If you have not ever gone to any of our orchestra concerts or if it's been years, or if you said, well, I used to go to when they were at the Star Plaza, it is a whole different experience. It's more intimate there at Living Hope. It is a true auditorium. It is plush seats. There is a little holder there for your water bottle if you so choose.
Exactly.
And then right there in front of you is the animation of all of those talented musicians, close to 80 of them. Plus, you've got Maestro up there. Your imagination will run wild with this concert, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. This is music, and I suspect you'll probably listen to this and you'll be like, oh yeah, I've heard that before. Because so much classical music is really, because it gets utilized in all kinds of things.
Commercials.
Commercials, TV shows, movies, etc. And so I think, so much of it you'll be like, oh, yeah, I've heard this, or I've heard something similar, or, and it is kind of how the music moves you or feels you. I mean, yeah, you might know this is the piece and the oboe represents the stepsisters or whatever, and you'll be able to hear that and picture that. But it doesn't always have to be. I'll tell you a funny story. It doesn't always have to be, what you're told the music is, because obviously art is all in the eye or the ear of the beholder, right?
Sure.
So you can be like, I'm listening to Cinderella, but it could conjure something completely in your mind. And as part of the education concerts, we also have a visual art component with that the schools can participate in, where we send them excerpts of the music, and and then we encourage them to sort of let the kids listen, and then they draw pictures, and then they send us all the pictures, and then we pick some winners from those. Like we had, like the symphony office, we pick a winner, and then Maestro himself picks a winner, and then our women's association also picks winners.
Fun.
So we have 3 winners, and so we kind of go through the artwork, and so they were able to do either Cinderella or Firebird, and they went through it all, and we kind of looked at all the pictures, and there was this really, really pretty drawing. We didn't choose it because it didn't quite fit the theme, but it was this beautiful drawing of a dolphin.
Oh,
And we were all like, is there a dolphin in Cinderella or Firebird that we're missing? And clearly there's not. But that's what the music moved that child to draw. And it was a really great drawing. We were like, you should submit that to the upcoming junior-senior art show in the gallery upstairs.
That's clever.
I mean, it was such a cute drawing. And it was like, I don't know, 4th or 5th grade or something. And it was a very nice drawing of a dolphin. And I was like, I just don't know that it fits the theme. It doesn't fit the theme.
If you're just tuning in and you're hearing what a great time we're having here, Phil Potempa, your host for Of Notoriety, joined by Tammie Miller, Northwest Indiana Symphony. She's the one that gets the word out for all the promotion and marketing, which, by the way, and depending when you're catching this, we are on the 26th of February today. Is that what we said?
Yes, correct. That's what we said. 26th.
And in today's Thursday Times, Maestro has his column, right?
Yes, correct, yeah.
So you can read more about it in there
yes,
as well in the Times. And if you're wondering why we're having such a good time, it's because of what is the theme for this upcoming concert. And boy, we all could use some fairytale endings. In the middle of winter as it continues to kind of lumber along and all of our headlines. Tell us again what it is and the dates.
Sure. So it's the title of the concert is Spellbound, meaning, Cinderella was under a spell and the Firebird was under a spell. So we went with Spellbound. And so it's Cinderella, Prokofiev's Cinderella, and Stravinsky's The Firebird. And that is next Friday, March 6th at 7:30 p.m. That is at Living Hope Auditorium in Crown Point. And there you can get tickets nisorchestra.org or 219-836-0525, extension 200 is the box office. And Maestro does have his pre-concert lecture before this one.
And then afterwards he has...
Oh, well, and then the cookies with Kirk. So, yeah. So, you can come at 6:15, and Maestro gives his pre-concert discussion. So, I think he's going to go a little deeper into Firebird because he's not going to talk about it in the concert. So, if you want to get more information about the Firebird, he'll talk about that ahead of time. But I know you're going to come join him at the pre-concert discussion as well.
Absolutely.
And so, so you can kind of get a little bit more up close and personal there and more information about the program that night. And then we'll have the concert. And then, after the concert, there's always the cookies with Kirk in the little side cafe room there at the Living Hope Auditorium. And, you get some delicious, we have multi-flavors of cookies.
Oh, yeah. Equal opportunity.
Yeah, I just wonder if there was any discussion about picking Firebird, because I didn't know until researching this that it was a Russian fairy tale. If there were any other thoughts of picking another fairy tale suite?
Well, we had, oddly, it was the Firebird. We were supposed to do a concert that was going to be the Firebird and Carmina Burana, which we did a couple years ago. And it was supposed to be, let's say the date, it was supposed to be April
know where
5th
this
of
is going.
2020. And so we had it on schedule, and then it kind of fell off. And then we did Carmina Burana about 2 years ago, I think.
Yes, that's right.
We redid that, and that was a great success. And so, the Firebird had just been kind of sitting out there like, please, fluttering
was
her
ready.
flaming little her bird wings that she wanted to come and do it. And I know it's a favorite, again, it's a really interesting piece. You can read the program notes in the in the program book when you're there, Luke. But yeah, it was kind of it was cobbled together from several different sort of Russian folktale kind of things. But it's got a prince and an evil king and some kidnapped princesses and a flaming bird.
And what I read is that the Firebird was either viewed as a harbinger of doom or as a blessing as well. So.
I think it was, she's a blessing because, the prince catches the Firebird and she's like, oh, please let me go and I'll give you this magical feather. I'll give you one of my feathers, and then anytime you're in danger, you can use this feather and you'll be saved. And so, so he ends up getting captured by the evil king and all this. And instead of being turned to stone, because the evil king can turn people to stone, he uses the magical feather and he doesn't get turned to stone, and then he's able to free all the princesses. And
well, and I made Luke have a learning moment. It's actually when I had to do research as well. Luke being just out of college, a couple of years, 23, right?
Yeah.
Right now, so he had, and this may not have been familiar to Tammie or even to our producer, but that idea of Cinderella has always been so popular that when Rodgers and Hammerstein did their versions of it, it was a TV special in the 1950s, and they recreated it, I guess, in the 60s. And I would always hear other colleagues like Eloise Valles and people say, "Oh, every year when that was on, Leslie Ann Warren was the Cinderella."
Oh, right.
And it predates us because I wasn't born until 1970. You?
Mid-70s.
Mid-70s. So this, but it was rebroadcast. They said every year, like up until 1978. Did you ever see it on TV?
I'm pretty sure I did see it probably once, but then in like maybe late 80s, early 90s, they had Disney came out with a version that had like Brandy and Whitney Houston was the fairy godmother, and so they had that one, and so again that was kind of after me. That was kind of an in between time that didn't quite hit me, and then they had the live action Disney movie maybe 10 years ago now, directed by Kenneth Branagh, which I really liked. I thought that one was really nice. That blue dress of hers, and that was
oh yeah.
But here's some fun trivia fact: everybody thinks Cinderella's dress is blue, but in the original movie, it was actually supposed to be silver, and it was just sort of.
Oh, really?
It came across as kind of bluish, whitish in the animated movie,
yeah.
And then they really leaned into the blue. And then that's what's funny because then they had Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty after that, and she's got their blue pink dress that goes back and forth. But it's mostly blue for most of the movie. It's blue, and then only at the end did they kind of go back and forth between the pink and blue. But then they leaned into pink for her so as to not mess her. But it's like Cinderella should have stayed white or silver, and then Sleeping Beauty.
Well, and it tells you with all these incarnations and these versions that look at how it's an centuries old tale that it goes all the way back to our composer, the one that we're doing. So it's been recreated, but it's just such a popular. And I know one of the fun facts that comes out there is how the name came. Why is she called Cinderella, which I know we probably all three know, right?
Because she is downtrodden and made to sleep in the cinders of the fire.
Yeah, cinders are all. Did you know what a cinder is?
Well, yeah, I
the
didn't know
soot
that.
and the ashes that are
But
around.
what is her real name? I'm going to say this like I know, but I don't know.
And I don't know.
I'm
that
sure she's
either.
got an actual name. I don't think the prince is referring to her as my lovely Cinderella.
Exactly.
So Cinderella's real name is Ella,
but
the cinder part right there, so
that
they
makes
got her
sense.
as
We had the expert
Cinderella.
chime in.
And this is our opportunity when you hear the voice of God, which is the voice of God, when it comes from our producer, our own Adrian Alvarez. You also have a royal connection here as we start to close. And I know we revealed it before, but this is fun. And this afternoon we're going to be shooting some promo photos. Tell them what you're lined up for.
So I am lined up to play the princess in I believe we're calling it the Frog Princess.
Yes, the Frog and the Princess.
The Frog Princess. This upcoming May, and it is the 18th through the 23rd, I want to say.
Yep, Theater at the Center. It's our children's run.
I am very excited to play the princess. We did the costume fitting, so now we are going to do the promo photos, and we're going to get some photos out there. I think we're probably going to do more later on with everybody.
A few of the other characters, but
I'm
we want to get
excited.
this because I'm kind of thinking, gosh, if I want to be in front of a lot of teachers at schools, I might have to kind of mention about, and just don't forget, Theater Center will be doing their kids show, kind of help us get the word out, although it always sells out very well. So teachers,
absolutely.
you're thinking about it.
If you got a flyer, you guys get a flyer
be a great
together.
Idea
we can make sure they leave
photos.
with that.
Thank you for that. That's so kind of, we certainly appreciate it. And so now, as we kind of close, a quick little bit of the landscape that's in front of us. Those on the radio, of course, will have to describe it for you, but there's this great glass slipper, which also gives us a little plug for your princess.
Right, exactly. Well, it was a gift to my daughter, and if you can actually see it, it is the tiniest thing. So if Cinderella actually could wear a shoe like that, then there would be no mistake whose shoe it was.
Exactly.
If some woman's walking around on like 3-foot size, feet. But so my daughter's school is Ileana Christian High School, and they're putting on same weekend as this show, same weekend as Spellbound. There's so many things that weekend. They're their own school production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. So come to our show, come to the Symphony on Friday, but you could go on Thursday or Saturday to see Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat at Ileana Christian High School.
And also on our table landscape, I'm going to let you be the hand model because Luke always says, your hands on Facebook look so old. But here's a quick commercial, and then we'll let this be a gift to our producer.
Right.
Can you zoom in on this?
We'll
Tell them what this is and where it can be purchased.
Sure.
I love this.
It's our Kirk pens. We got those this season for his 25th season. He's got the hair, that you can quite frankly see right there, and he's got a cute little smile on his face, and and a nice symphony logo as well. But yeah, you can buy these. We'll have them for sale at the concert. You can buy them at our office or in the gift shop at the CVPA as well. And yeah, they're like I think there's 2 for $5. So
they are so cute and whimsical. And again,
and if you get angry, you click on his head. So
that's it. You take it out on
Kirk.
Well, that fluffy hair is feathery plumes to make that maestro hair of his.
I ordered a huge box of them, and I opened the box and just feathers everywhere, just flying. So that's probably like what the Firebird is like, just flying.
Those are going to be a wonderful keepsake. Those are fun.
They've done really well. So people have bought them. So I mean, it's a fun little way of having Kirk and
absolutely
having Kirk in your pocket. If you had a pocket, I'd just stick you
right there. Anything else we have, Luke?
No, it's so exciting. This the concert.
Oh wait, I'm going to add one more thing.
Yes, please do.
This Sunday after this concert, because like I said, that weekend's crazy. What is that? The 6th, 7th, 8th. The 8th. Our youth orchestra is having their auction or their annual
dinner,
gala.
Right? That's right.
And they have an auction, and the link's not live yet, but watch for our Facebook and watch online. The auction will be live, and you can bid on things, and it all goes to benefit the youth orchestra.
If we want to add one more event as well going on at Theater at the Center, we have on that same weekend, March 6th, we have our American English concert, and that's a benefit for the Cancer Resource Center as well. So
and you're almost sold out on that one.
That's going to be sold out very quickly here. So if you really want that one, you need to, again, get on there and get those tickets because they will disappear. We'll leave you with a fun fact, Adriana. Our presentation pillow here that you see with the tassels on it was last used by, who is our resident in-house prince over at our Performing Arts Center for kid shows?
It is Rob Aguirre.
and on there was the glittery princess slipper that was on Kara Schmidt.
Right.
Which was purchased from...
Where?
The Cracker Barrel.
Oh, yes. The Cracker Barrel.
It had all that bling. It had all that bling around it.
Oh, right. It was like the blingy flip-flops,
yes,
wasn't it?
exactly.
Oh, yes. I do remember that.
Yeah, and it was on this presentation that Rob hoisted around. So thank you so much, everyone, for being a part. What a fun show today, Tammie. You always make it a good time.
I'm going to give this. I'm going to leave this for Kirk and tell him he needs to use it to conduct his concert.
Because he'll be around next week because there's lots of rehearsals happening.
Oh, my gosh,
so
yeah.
You'll be seeing him. I think it's a great idea to pitch it to him. And to all of you, to our producer, and thank you for being a part of our broadcast, a special broadcast of Notoriety. Not usually on this Thursday, but again, it could be anytime you're hearing it based on the rebroadcast. So with that, thank you, Luke Miller.
Glad to be here.
And Tammie, come back again.
Okay.
Thank you as you whisk us off. And a reminder that we hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, whether it be morning, afternoon, or evening, or wherever your path might take you.